G'day, I'm on the back terrace of the Intercontinental here in Adelaide. You've got the Torrens River across the hotel, Adelaide Oval behind that, and with the sun shining, I think it's just a gorgeous day to be out and about. Now, I'm at the East Coast Car Rentals. It's just a short walk from the Adelaide Airport, and I'm picking up the 2024 Polestar 2 EV, and I'm planning to do a drive down to McLaren Vale. Let's do a quick walk around before we jump in and make sure there's no dings or dents or scratches or anything like that. And if there is any, I'm not liable as I haven't got behind the wheel yet. The plan is to drive down to McLaren Vale and enjoy the Polestar 2 on this nice sunny day. So far looks good. About to take delivery, so let's jump in. I'm on the M2 now, heading south towards McLaren Vale in the Polestar 2. First impressions, I think it feels pretty planted. The suspension feels firm and compliant and just enough to feel sporty. The steering is a bit light for my liking, but that's just a personal preference. I think the newer Volvo products tend to have this feel. This car is a joint collab between Volvo and the Chinese brand Geely. We'll get to that in a minute. This particular Polestar 2 is rear-wheel drive in the base model, and apparently that change makes it more fun to drive than the previous model. I find the exterior design of the Polestar 2 quite interesting. You get those subtle Volvo cues with that sort of boxy look and straight edgy lines, and especially that vertical infotainment yells Volvo. Wonder how much influence Geely or Geely, not sure how it's actually pronounced, so if you know the correct pronunciation for Geely, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, not sure how much influence Geely had in the overall design versus the design motif of the Volvo brand. Alright, let's jump in. Okay, so the interior feels premium without feeling tacky like some of the newer cars that have like LEDs flashing at you from every corner. Everything feels well put together in the Polestar 2. The materials are high quality and the layout feels pretty logical with a good mix of physical buttons and haptics. There is a good balance of soft touch materials in here, although I feel the cabin feels a little smaller than I thought it would be. But sitting inside the Polestar 2 is an overall comfortable experience. Alright, let's check out the boot space. I think it's reasonable. It's not the biggest boot I've seen, but it's normal for a car this size. This is a charging cable that the car comes with. It is an EV after all. Press a button and that closes. Convenient. Alright, let's jump in the back seat here. Okay, feels a little bit tight in here, but overall I think, yeah, legroom is okay. Plenty of natural lighting thanks to the panoramic sunroof. You've got the reading light there. The interior space, as I said before, is quite small. You got a couple of air vents here. And I especially like the thud of the door. I think that's a good way to see if the car is, well made. Although it's got 5 seats, it's more comfortable for 4 adults. Couple of seat pockets. Alright, let's jump back in the driver's seat. The infotainment screen is quite good on the Polestar 2 and it absolutely screams Volvo. The vertical orientation does take a little bit of getting used to. Most people are more comfortable with the horizontal layout. Again, that's just a personal preference. But the system itself is quite responsive, and you've got a slew of driver assist, entertainment, safety, and camera options. There's a general consensus that driving dynamics are way more pronounced for more spirited driving in normal, regular cars compared to these EVs. But that feeling becomes, I think, a little bit more amplified if the car is a rear-wheel drive like this car versus an all-wheel drive. And this car definitely gives that feeling, especially on these winding country roads. Unfortunately, that brings me to the end of my time with the Polestar 2. I think it's an interesting car, and I especially enjoyed driving in the back roads of the wine country where it really comes into its own. But sadly, I do have to return it back to the car rental, but I love that I didn't have to top up the fuel before returning it back to them, unlike a normal petrol or diesel car. I think if you're in the market for a mid-sized EV, then this is a very compelling car alongside the usual suspects of Tesla Model 3, BYD Seal, BMW i4, and Kia EV6.